Hey guys, it's Dave from DD Drums. Welcome to this lesson on how to play Dumpweed by Blink-182 on drums. Now this is probably one of the most epic Blink-182 songs. I remember hearing this back in the late 90s and just really kind of falling in love with the sound of Blink-182. And one of the biggest reasons is because of the epic drum parts that Travis Barker put into this song. So if you want to get a copy of the transcription, you can from the description section below. It's got all the 4 pages of drum parts, which we're going to cover in today's lesson. Now the song is at 200 BPM, so it's a really quick song. However, we're going to break it down and make it easier to understand how to play these drum parts. Right, so let's get into it. So the intro section of the song, which is 8 bars, sounds like this. So one thing with that intro is count it out. So the crash cymbals will happen on the 1, but you'll also have the hi-hats on the 2 and the 4. So notice the very end also has the and forehand on the snare and bass. All right, then we get into the intro groove, which is pretty amazing. It happens not only in the intro, but it actually happens in the middle of the song too. Here's how that part sounds. So 2 things to talk about there is the first line is basically all in a crash. And that line repeats 3 times, okay? Now, if you want to make it easier, just take away those double notes if you want to, like this. Just don't do the double bass drums. Now the second thing is that last line sounds like this. The fill, I mean that fill is incredible. That's typical Travis Barker stuff right there. And what's going on there is really, that part there, just practice slowly and build it up. So 2 bass drums, 4 snares, 2 bass drums, 2 toms, 2 floor toms, 2 bass drums, and a flam on the snare. Yeah, pretty amazing fill, and definitely practice that one. All right, then we get to the verse, which is a 16-bar section, okay? Really cool beats going on here in the verse. Here's how the verse sounds. All right, so that whole section really, I'm going to talk about two things. One is the 2-bar groove that just keeps on repeating like this. The only difference is one time it'll hit the tom 1 at the very last beat on the 4, and next time it'll hit the floor tom on the count 4. Check it out. And it just repeats, okay? Yeah, that's a really cool part where he opens up the hi-hat. Just such a great sound. Now, the second thing about that verse to talk about is that feel that happens. Now, when you first hear the song, it's so quick you can't really pick it up what's happening, but here's what's happening. You've got, basically it's 8 notes. Played quickly. So a bass drum, flam, a bass drum, tom 1, 2 floor toms, bass drum, and then a crash. Guys, if you want to get really nitty gritty, definitely get the sheet music because I've transcribed all the parts for you. It's going to help learn it really easily, or a lot easier anyway. Especially if you're very visual and you like to see sheet music or you want to learn sheet music, then I would recommend it. All right, now one of the best parts of this song, because they're all great parts really, is the pre-chorus. So the pre-chorus, really there's 2 parts to it. Here's the first part, which is like a 6-bar phrase. It sounds like this. Now in that section of the song, there's really so much going on, okay? Let's try and simplify it. So the first line is pretty basic. It's just going to be, 8 notes on the cymbal. Then it does this really cool thing where it sounds like this. Like that part is incredible, and when you hear it on the recording, it's like, what is he doing? All right. Well, basically, there's some accents on the right. You've got some bells on the right hand, and you've also got some hi-hat playing with left hand, and some of them are open. So here's just the right hand in that second line here. Add a bass drum. Now, add the left hand. That's another beat that, either just slow it right down, use the sheet music and you kind of have to slow it down. Just try the hands and really count it out. That's what I'm going to recommend in that part. And then it goes and does that fill again, the same one we did in the intro. So it does the same fill in the intro, which is the one that goes. But there's ends up being 4 snares to start. And then it does the bell. on the ride cymbal. Let's check out the chorus. Now, chorus, there's two choruses. The first chorus really just goes for, 16 bars, okay? And here's how it sounds. So the interesting thing about that chorus is really that there's, the bass drum pattern is changing a little bit. That's the first line. The second line is. And the third line is the same as the first line, which is. And the fourth line is a little bit different. Now, yes, you can do it on the hi-hat too. I think Travis Barker does it on the hi-hat, but I've seen him do it on the crash too, the crash holds. So the last line could sound like this. Now, the second chorus is all the same, okay, except it does it twice, what I just showed you, but also in the middle of the second chorus, there's a fill, okay? Now the fill is, it's a 2-bar fill, okay? Sounds like this. Basically got a 6-note pattern happening twice, which is 4 snares and then 2 bass drums. And then finally finishing on 4 snares. So the whole pattern together would sound. And that's it. Okay, so in the context of the chorus, this is how it would sound. The last section, the outro, is really just like an 8-bar pattern that's just repeated, okay? It's repeated like 4 times. And this is how it sounds, the outro section. Okay, now that's all the outro is, okay? A lot slower would be like this. And it does that 8-bar section like 4 times. And at the very end of each section, you hear it hits a floor tom. All right, that's pretty much all it is, okay? I mean, it's a lot easier when you've got the sheet music. I must admit, if you're a visual person like me, you like to see things, all right, written out. So, hey, once again, if you want to get a copy from the description section below, you can. It's all there waiting for you guys. So if you got some value from the lesson, definitely hit the like button. I really appreciate you watching and liking. Subscribe for more lessons like this, and I'll see you all on the next lesson. See you guys.